It is time now to go inside the game, and we have what we think is a real treat for you. We have gone into the vault and come out with a videotape, which actually exists. 31 years ago today, April 6, 1975, the first time the Islanders ever won in this building at Madison Square Garden. So we flash back to a game from 1975. Clark Gillies scored the goal to make it 5-3. The Islanders were up on the Rangers 4-3 in a game that had a lot of playoff implications. Now, Rick Middleton, off a face-off, got it closer. He made it 5-4 as the Rangers got one back. Now, this was a game that if the Rangers had won, they would have leapfrogged the Penguins, and it would have changed the course of NHL history forever. The Islanders and Rangers would not have met in the playoffs. As it turned out, the Islanders won the game after Ed Westfall found an empty net at the other end of the ice. So the Islanders ended up winning it, their first ever at the Garden, way back in 1975. And are you surprised to know that Stan Fischler was at the game? As we take one look at the numbers, if the Rangers had won, the Islanders and Rangers would have never met in that first round, and the Islanders played themselves into the playoffs by going 5-1-5 in their final 11. You were here for that game. What do you remember?
Well, not only was I here, Deb, but I did the game, the first Islander telecast with Spencer Ross the previous week. And the Isles tied Atlanta, and that put them into the playoffs for the first time. Bill Torrey was the general manager, and he was exuberant for several reasons. One is that he always said he thought the middle name of the Islanders was Hapless, because the headlines always were Hapless Islanders lose again. And of course, then they got into the playoffs, and playing the Rangers and winning at the Garden was just a sensational thing. That was almost like winning the Cup for the Islanders. It was such a unique thing.
Now, so many years later, as you look back at that videotape, what strikes you besides the fact that there's no advertising on the boards?
Well, the play is being smaller. It was a kind of a different kind of hockey. There was a little bit of the old-time hockey in it, and of course, that was the year that the Islanders established themselves. That was the year that Bill Torrey made the great trade, where he got Jules Drouin and he got J.P. Parisi. And that trade with Minnesota was what turned the team around and enabled them to get into the playoffs.
So as the Islanders get ready to play the Rangers again tonight, do you have one or two games that stick out in your memory as the best Islander-Ranger games ever?
Well, I have to think that when the Islanders were the four straight Cup champions, there was a win here at the Garden where Brian Trottier scored an overtime goal. It was a sensational game. And the year that Mike Bossy, I believe it was the 82 players where Mike Bossy dominated the series and the Isles won it in 4 straight. That series, to me, was the top of the Islanders' dominance.
All right, we might see a good one again tonight. Thank you, Stan.
Okay, Deb.
The Islanders and Rangers actually played the first ever shootouts in the history of their franchises as they played that game earlier in the season back in October. Remember, Jaromir Jagr broke his stick. He hasn't broken one, I don't think, since.
chronicle.com